Hey guys, so you're probably aware of this already, but Keir Starmer has seceded to those who are really in power, and he's decided to allow a bunch of children from a land that has nothing to do with us come to our country. Now, of course, it's starting with the children, then it will be the women, and we've heard recently reports saying that... I'll get to that in a sec. I'm getting ahead of myself. No one's surprised by this, obviously. We do not want them. They're not our problem. I don't care if they're children. I don't care if they're women. Put them in any other country, and I don't give a shit. Just don't bring them here. They're not welcome. Just saying it, right? They are not welcome, guys. We do not want them. They're not our problem. The British people, honestly, we just get shit on from above constantly, don't we? Because why is Keir Starmer being pressured to recognise Palestine as a state? Why is that happening? It's not something that the British people really give a shit about. I'm pretty sure that most people watching this video have tried their best just to stay the hell away from both sides of this conflict, because they're both as bad as each other. The Palestinians want to exterminate the Jews, and it looks like, well, the Jews are well on their way to doing it back. Now, I don't really care who wins or who loses. I just don't want their problem exported to my country. But unfortunately, guys, it just looks like that might be happening. Again, 200 MPs are now signing a cross-party letter demanding that Starmer recognises Palestine as a state. This is the same bunch of MPs. Yeah, here, 221 MPs sign a letter demanding that Starmer recognises Palestine as a state. So there's 221 MPs motivated enough to get off their fat asses, but not for you, for some faraway fucking country, right? But only 18 MPs have signed Rupert Law's mass migration movement. So 18 MPs are trying to protect this country and protect its people and deport the bastards that shouldn't be here, and 221 are more concerned about a foreign country full of Bakibazi bastards. I'm not interested in those 221 MPs. And if it's someone that is representing you and your constituency and you don't agree with them, I suggest you write to them and let them know exactly what you think of them. Because unfortunately, I don't think they represent us, guys. 93% of Reform voters say that Islam is compatible with British values. I think it's probably higher. Because at this moment in time, it's just common sense. So we're seeing our leaders and those in power and those that actually make decisions doing the opposite of what the people want. We don't want to recognise Palestine, and we don't want any Gazan kids. Okay? Because their religion is antithetical to our way of life and our culture. And we don't like living in a low-trust society. It kind of sucks. I'd rather go back to the high-trust one, thank you very much. But unfortunately, with these leaked documents, I don't know if they're 100% true. I'm not a forensic scientist, but they look real. And apparently it's been their plan all along just to send these migrants over to Europe. And any migrants that are left, within Palestine or Gaza, they are going to see as combatants, which means they are going to soon be dead. So the women and children are basically being allowed to leave before the real slaughter starts. And again, I'm not going to play this, but this is too, I'll play a little bit.
And I said it very clearly, blow a hole in the thing. If you
bring it on. Okay, now I got that.
If not, bring some boats, send them to Cyprus, send them to Spain, send them to southern France.
Spain is happy to take.
That's right. Send them to Ireland, their beloved friends in Ireland.
And then,
nah, don't want them. And it's not been hidden, you know, they've been open about it, that they wanted to send them to Europe. It's just that I don't want them, thank you very much. I don't want them because they do shit like this.
Imagine a place where the adhan has never been called. Here in the Lake District, we're about to build the first ever masjid in Cumbria.
So they're building a mega mosque in the middle of the fucking Lake District away from any Muslims that live there. I think they're 98.5% white in this area. So it's obviously the perfect place to build a mega mosque. No. We don't want them. We don't want them. We don't want your mosques. We don't want you scummy kids. We don't want you Bakibazi bastards. We don't want you more bastards. We just don't want you. And we're giving our government a chance to understand us and they keep clamping us down and restricting our speech and closing down our protests and labelling us a far right and basically doing everything they can to make sure that we're not allowed to talk about this. And that's getting old. That's getting pretty old. I think we're getting pretty tired of that. I wouldn't recommend you keep doing it. That's all I'd say. If I was the government, I'd probably be thinking, yeah, we should probably listen to the people that have been here for thousands of years and have a blood tie to this country and would literally die defending it, even from us. So you probably should remember that. At least recognise it, you know. Just a word of advice. And these people, and this woman here in particular, I haven't got the photo, but this one in particular has been seen on multiple occasions at different protests in different areas. She's bussed around, paid for, likely by the government, like I've been saying all along, guys. The government pays these people to be here. The government pays them to be in the right place at the right time to cause as much frustration and turmoil as possible, to the point where the natives then snap, or something happens, or the police do something that's antagonistic, and suddenly they've got the chance to say that it's a far-right riot or something like this, and they paint the narrative, or that's what they used to do before X, which is why they came up with the Online Safety Act, to suppress free speech on X as well, because they're losing the narrative, guys. They can't keep up with it. They actually can't tell enough lies. They can't spread their bullshit fast enough to stop the truth from coming out. And it's magical. It's magical. This shit doesn't work anymore. And then, okay, then we're going to leave it with Nigel Farage. Many people think that this guy's the answer, right? Many people think that he's the solution. But you have to be real. He is just containment. He is stopping the real change from happening in this country. He is the stopgap. In his own words, we'll listen to it now.
Maybe we're nearing the end of times for the democratic process. I'm in politics not because I want to be Prime Minister. I'm in politics because I'd like to use that position to change things. 25% of the country hate me? Well, I hope so. I don't care. So we dealt with the Conservatives. We're coming for Labour. It is now becoming clearer by the week.
I'll be honest, though, you should care. Like, that's a very, very large percentage of people, and it can only go up the more that people get to know you and realise that you are a snake. So I'd probably be concerned about that.
A few times to try.
Well, not really.
Well, you tried a few times.
You guys don't get it. You know, UKIP was a pressure group. You know, we could.
Is that right, guys? UKIP was just a pressure group. Do you feel like your time was just wasted? So this is amazing by Farage, by the way. He says that he never meant to be Prime Minister with UKIP, that it was just a pressure group. Basically, he conned everyone because he's such a fucking big brain genius that he managed to convince everyone that it was a real party, even though it wasn't, and that he was trying to be an MP, even though he wasn't, and that it was all done just to alleviate pressure, to misdirect the public. Because again, he's such a big brain bastard that he was able to just fool everyone, the entire country.
Have been, like most pressure groups, have the occasional drinks party in Committee Room 14. That's all they do. And we decided, no, we would actually stand in elections as a means of forcing the debate. So,
I'm just hoping that Reform UK isn't a pressure group. Maybe he's just such a big brain bastard that he's doing it again. Maybe he's just taking all your money, and Reform UK is literally just a pressure group to try and siphon off some of the votes away from Labour or the Conservatives or whatever the hell it's meant to do, and that actually he has no intention of being Prime Minister. I hope that's not the case, because who's probably the most likely one to be installed as Prime Minister if he's not that interested? Well, I'm glad he's not doing that.
You know, was my 1994 Eastleigh by-election a serious attempt at winning a seat? I mean, come on.
So looking back at that, you know, UKIP, Brexit Party was slightly different, a bit more professional, but you see those parties as sort of just a bit of a joke movement, or?
No. In 100 years' time, people like you will say that UKIP was the most successful political party in history.
More than Reform?
Up until now. UKIP.
Wait. In the future, you will see UKIP as the most successful political bullshit whatever in history, even more than Reform, up until now. So in the future, you'll see Reform UKIP. Which one is it? Like, you can't have in the future and then say up until now. They cancel each other out, mate. You just got caught with your pants down. Because you know what you're saying here, right? If you conned everyone with UKIP, and that was supposed to be the most politically amazing thing that the world, I don't know, whatever he said, like some amazing, wonderful, beautiful, special thing that the world's going to remember forever, right? So that's UKIP, apparently. UKIP. So if you did that, and then the guy says, well, what about Reform? I mean, Nigel is immediately realising the trap that he just set himself. If he's conned the world by pretending that UKIP was actually a party that wanted to win, then that means he might be doing it again with Reform, and he just shit his pants. So let's watch that reaction again.
People like you will say that UKIP was the most successful political party in history.
More than Reform?
Up until now. I said we're coming for Labour. It's what I said in that speech. So we dealt with the Conservatives, we're coming for Labour. And that's what we've done. We've done it, and you can see a collapse. A lot of it is their own fault.
What do you think, guys? Do you think Nigel Farage has done all this himself? Do you think he's the mastermind behind making Labour collapse? And the Conservatives, he'll obviously credit that to himself as well. Do you think Nigel Farage is the mastermind here? Do you think he deserves the credit he's giving himself? Or do you think that, it's just that Labour is utter cancer and the Conservatives are a bunch of traitors that have a literal foreigner leading their party?
They have proved to be completely out of their depth on virtually everything. It is now becoming clearer by the week that the Prime Minister believes in nothing. I mean, he makes that speech, nation of strangers stuff, and then says last Friday he didn't read the speech. Well, what are you, a puppet? He literally just confessed that he just does what Morgan.
Right, I can play you a good 10 or 20 videos now of Nigel Farage just talking absolute shite and contradicting himself constantly and saying that he will do something and then never ever mentioning it ever again. Like the grooming gang inquiry, he was saying in January that he's going to get it sorted, that he'll get the funding, and then nothing, just crickets. That's just one example. There's tons of them, right?
What Sweeney tells him to do, yet another U-turn. Even when he gets it right, he seems to get it wrong. It's most peculiar with this guy. So yes, they've helped us enormously. But I think it's bigger than that, because the reason the Conservatives have had no benefit from it is, I think, the narrative out there that this is broken Britain.
It's because they have someone who didn't even grow up in this country, who doesn't describe themselves as English and clearly isn't English, as their leader of the party. Conservatives.
I think May the 1st changed things enormously. I think what May the 1st did was to say vote Reform, get Reform. As opposed to the pen hovers or pencil hovers. Because, is it a waste?
Vote Reform, get Reform. What does Reform stand for, though? Because they're not interested in mass immigration. Sorry, they're not interested in mass deportations, and they're not interested in tackling Islam, which is pretty much the two things that I think will solve 96% of the trouble or problems in this country. Just those two things. But they're the two things that Farage is not interested in.
So, Nigel, do you think he could be the next Prime Minister?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I've got more breadth of life experience than anyone that's done that job in recent times. I've lived in the real world. I'm part of the real world. I know.
You're not saying much there, mate. And by the way, you lived in the city. That's not the real world.
I know what it is. I've seen life's ups. I've seen life's downs. I'm in politics not because I want to be Prime Minister. I'm in politics because I'd like to use that position to change things.
I mean, I've been coming through your new office today, and it says at the office of Nigel Farage, you walk in and there's a press room that looks like Caroline Levitt could be there, and it sort of feels like you're sort of preparing for power. You have your own private office immediately coming in to your own suite. I mean, is this the sort of the slow transition?
No, he said he doesn't want to be Prime Minister. That's one of the first things he said. You forgot that?
Not because I want to be Prime Minister.
Let's see if Nigel forgot that.
Are you moving into number 10? Are you trying to prepare for it now, lay the groundwork?
We're not mucking about.
No, he does.
We're not mucking about.
He does.
And you know what?
I'm not doing this anymore. I was trying to find the clip of him saying, I'm the UK's last chance. You know, after me, there's no more chances. The UK will be changed forever, or something like this. And a lot of people cite this as why they're voting for Farage. Like, he's our last chance. But what you don't realise is he wasn't talking to you when he said that. So again, guys, he's not speaking to you. He's speaking to those in power. He's speaking to the establishment. He's saying to the establishment, I am your last chance to maintain control. After me, it's going to be a free-for-all. Good luck with that. So that's the only reason that those in power are really getting behind Farage now, and that's why he's everywhere. God knows why he's allowed to have his own show on GB News, by the way. That's fucked up. That shouldn't be allowed. But there he is on GB News, getting his own guests, creating his own narrative, sucking his own In the meantime, all that he does is he goes on these shows and he creates fluff and spin and talks about the problem. Look how big the problem is. Look how big this problem is. I'm going to talk about the problem. But he never actually gives a solution, right? He never actually gives solutions. He never makes promises. He never makes statements of intent. He never tells you what he's going to do to solve the problem, but the problem's always there, and Nigel will be the one to solve it. I'm just not going to tell you how. And I'm not okay with that, you know? This is why the country, the Home Office, for Christ's sake, why have they been giving gambling cards to illegal migrants? Well, it's because the country's full of people that are pressuring Keir Starmer to allow Palestine to be a state. Why is the Home Office telling illegal migrants that if they refuse to move a hotel, that they will be left homeless? Why don't they just, I don't know, deport them? Just deport them. Bye. You don't, get the fuck out the hotel. You cheeky bastard. You know, guys, we're not asking for much, are we? I don't think. As a people, as a country, we're not asking for much. We just ask that because we pay our taxes, and we have been doing for quite a long time, that the government protects us first. The government protects our children first. You know, just small things, that the government doesn't try and smuggle hundreds of thousands of people into the country and then lie about it and destroy free speech at the same time. Just small things, you know, just small things. And because I would be inclined to agree with the person that mentioned earlier that this may be our last election. Well, if that is the case, and if we last until then it's really, really, really a good idea to make sure that you choose the right person. Now, you can do that if they sign up to the pledge. If they pledge that they will deport people and they don't, they're going to break a pledge and then people will get very angry. So, having a pledge is good. Restore Britain has lots of pledges. So I think voting for MPs that concur with those pledges is probably in the best interests of this country, rather than, I'm just saying, rather than just doing what we've always done and relying on promises instead. Because if there's a lot of people out there or in government that are pressuring the Prime Minister to recognise foreign countries, then I think a little bit more pressure needs to come from us as well. See you later.